It's time to bring in a Man City forward. They play Leicester in game week 30, but is it going to be Marmoush or Haaland for my team? Welcome to the Gianni YouTube show. Hope you guys are good and you had a good game week 29. I was on free hit, as I'm sure many of you will know. I've been planning it for weeks. And yeah, a green arrow, I'm relatively happy. It's not just what you do in 29 if you're on free hit, it's what you've done in the weeks leading up to it and what you're about to do in the weeks following. So don't necessarily judge free hit 29 just on 29, like my transfers in 26 and 7 and 8 worked out for me because of my strategy of free hit 29, i.e. bringing in Newcastle, Palace players, whatever. So far, I think those that free hit have had a good week. Hopefully you've been on greens. But look, most importantly, I want to talk about Marmoush and Haaland in today's video. We're going to get to a player comparison. We can see this tweet. I tweeted this minutes before the deadline. I said all week I was looking at bringing in a Man City attacker. I had Foden and Haaland. I had Haaland alongside Foden and De Bruyne for my free hit. So it was going to be double City attack. We didn't get the leak that Foden was starting. We didn't get the leak De Bruyne was starting. I felt like it was too risky. I needed a leak. We did get a leak on FPL Twitter, and it was FPL Tony, that Marmoush was starting, or Lazy FPL. I can't remember one of those guys. They are both must-follow accounts. I therefore punted Marmoush in and it worked. So happy with my free hit 29. And guys, Marmoush looked good. This is the average position map from City, but I tweeted straight away when I was looking through the numbers from the game, like, Pep does usually take a while to integrate his forwards. We know this, right? Other than Haaland, they don't come straight into the team and stay in the team. Well, Marmoush joined days before the Chelsea game and he was straight in the 11. He then has played 6 from 7, including that Chelsea game in the Premier League in terms of starts. Always comes off between 71 and 76. Well, again, at the weekend against Brighton, we're seeing an improvement. 85 minutes. I feel like he's now ready for 90. The conditioning, the fast pace of the Premier League is different to the Bundesliga. I think Pep's been bringing him off early, but we're about to start getting 90. Regardless, he's a key cog in this machine. He's linking well with Haaland. They're scoring goals. And Marmoush, for his price, feels like he could be the pick. I'm going to show you some numbers comparing them both since Marmoush arrived. Makes for good reading if you're in the market for a mid-price forward. But look, this is my team selection video, so I want to get onto my team. We'll come back to Haaland versus Marmoush later. My bus team. Let's have a look at it, shall we? Guys, if you're enjoying the video, I'd love you to hit that like button. Helps the algorithm. Drop a comment. I'll respond to all comments. And if you can subscribe, I'm on a very ambitious journey to get to 30k by the end of the season. I don't think it's possible, but I would love your support regardless. If you hit that subscribe button today, that'd mean a lot. Bus team. Pickford in goal. Doesn't have a good fixture. I don't mind it when my keepers don't have great fixtures. Often means save points against the likes of Liverpool. I'm happy to punt and keep Pickford in. The back three of Burn, Munoz. Rico Lewis started last time out. It's Leicester at home. If he starts, I'm happy days. If he doesn't start, and Mateus Nunes comes in at right back, it is what it is. Let's see where I'm at with that. And let's see what happens in the international break with Trent's injury. We do have Trent on the bench. We've got Mykolenko also on the bench. Remember, this is before I make any transfers. My midfield, Palmer is flagged, but Palmer is in this midfield. And guys, we do have a bit of an update on Palmer's injury. Maresca said post-game against Arsenal on the Sunday, well, we knew it was a muscular problem, right? He weren't going to be available for England. Maresca then said after the game he needs a scan. It's planned for Monday. Hopefully he can be back after the international break. We'll wait and see what we hear in the scan. Touch and go on Cole Palmer. He might be an immediate sell. Same as Trent, right? We know with Trent, like Trent is out. The quote from Slot was something like he'll be available at the end of the season, or we hope to have him back at the end of the season. Like, I think Trent is very likely also out of game week 30, so he is also heavily flagged. We'll learn more as the weeks go on, and we do have now 2 weeks to the next deadline, which is nuts. So let's continue with my bus team. We've got obviously Palmer. The rest of the midfield, I'm happy with the midfield. Enzo versus Spurs is a good fixture for him. I expect goals from Chelsea in that, and probably goals from Spurs. Ismail Assar, brilliant to be on Palace assets. They've got Southampton. And I've got triple Palace in this 11. And of course, Mo Salah. Rodgers is on the bench. Fine to play Rodgers versus Brighton, by the way. Very happy starting him if I need to. And then up front, I've put Cunha in this 11, not on the bench, because Cunha's spot is being replaced. Cunha, big question mark over Cunha. I'm moving Cunha on. We'll talk about his replacement in a second. And then Mateta, Again, great fixture for Mateta. He should be available by 30. Pretty confident on that after the 24 stitches in his ear. And then Isak as well should be available. He did go off in the Community Shield final, EFL Cup final. Looked like cramp. Could have been a slight hamstring tweak. But again, 2 weeks' time, I expect Isak to be fine. So, 3.3 million in the bank. One free transfer. And a Man City forward that I absolutely need. They've got Leicester, and I like the City fixtures moving forward before coming up. So let's look at those fixtures, and let's look at Marmoush versus Haaland. Before we do, guys, I just mentioned there that it would mean a lot if you do hit that subscribe button. This channel's 2 years old, pretty much. Just hit 2 years old, and I never wanted to do my own YouTube channel. I was always really happy contributing to Chasing Green Arrows and Scout. And for 5, 6, 7 years, some of you have seen me on different channels, just contributing to other channels. 2 years ago, I said, I've missed the wave, I've missed the boat. I should have done this 5 years back, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I've started my own YouTube channel. And hopefully you guys see this as the best content I produce. I do 5 videos a week-ish on this channel. Thank you for supporting me on this journey. I love doing other stuff. My favourite stuff is the in-studio work I do at Sky and the Premier League, and I'm privileged to be a talking head there, which is probably why I didn't set up my own channel in a way. I was just like, I'm enjoying the TV work, but absolutely, it was the best thing I ever did, was set up a YouTube channel. So thank you guys for the love. Thank you for liking this, commenting and subscribing. Let's crack on with the comparisons. Makes for good reading, right? I've just looked at some goal threat and some creative numbers, right? Creativity and goal threat. Since Marmoush has been in the team, so he joined in game week, I think it was 22, 23. It was ahead of Chelsea. We've had 7 games, right? In those 7 games, Haaland's edged him for minutes. So we've got some average numbers and just some overall numbers. Goals are the same. The XG, of course, Haaland edges it. There's a pen or two in there. Mins per goal, however, Marmoush has had fewer minutes, that 119 to 133. Goal attempts, they've both had 14. Haaland's goal attempts come in the box. Marmoush's don't. Okay, that's fine. We expect that. We expect some shots from range, and he does score from range. He's a brilliant elite finisher, Marmoush. The assist numbers are similar, 1 and 2 for Haaland. XG average is identical. Minutes per chance created, again, Marmoush is the slightly better creative threat. What this tells me is Haaland's a slightly better asset. Of course he is. We know that. Haaland's until last season, Haaland was the best player in the game. Other than Salah, Haaland's the best player in the game in terms of captaincy and reliability. But Marmoush costs half the price, guys. For half the price, in terms of value, it's a no-brainer. Marmoush is much better value, and I still think Marmoush's numbers are good enough to captain him. So the big question for many will be, do they bring in Marmoush or do they bring in Haaland? Now, earlier today, I tweeted about Marmoush, and I just want to come back to that tweet because we can see the average position map here. Now, in the last... So check out this average position map, right? In the last 4 or 5 games, Pep has gone with Doku and Savio, right? Doku and Savio are definitely preferred. We're not seeing Grealish. We're not seeing Foden out wide. Now, because of that, Foden is competing with Marmoush and De Bruyne for the number 10 spot, but there is only one number 10 spot available. Now, don't see the average position map and think it was Omar Marmoush number 9, Haaland number 10. No, Haaland just kept dropping deep to get on the ball. It was Marmoush behind Haaland, the front 2. And the front 2 absolutely works for this team. It's Julian Alvarez is his replacement, right? We haven't seen Alvarez replaced, or we didn't. This is the replacement in Marmoush. Someone that can play as number 9, but probably prefers playing off a 9 as a second striker. We've also seen him play out wide. I don't think that's his role. He's a talented footballer that's ice cool in front of goal, that can shoot from range, that can still thread a pass and get the assist numbers, can draw penalties like we saw against Brighton. Marmoush, at his price, is unbelievable value. And I think next season in FPL, he could be listed as a midfielder next season in FPL, and he'll probably be a similar price point. If you get Marmoush as an 8 million mid next year, he's going to be in everyone's teams. So I just think for the run-in, I can back him in a good way. Let's look at my team in a minute and see if I'm going to go Haaland or Marmoush, though, because I do have Palmer and Trent, and I might need to sell one of those assets. And if money's not an issue for me, then I still prefer Haaland, because captaincy versus Leicester is going to be important to me. If I sell Palmer, I'm going to be in the market for midfielder as well. So I want to just look at some midfielders, but also just draw our attention to some of these fixtures. Now, with Man City, in terms of doubles, it's important to note, If they beat Bournemouth in the FA Cup quarter-final, they will double in 33. The bookies' odds have them as likely, therefore they're in orange there by Ben Crellin's ticker. Man City would therefore have a double of Villa and Everton. It's a good double. Now, they could also double in 36. Again, depending on how they get on in the FA Cup. You could, what we're saying here, guys, is in 36 or certainly 33, if you're going to get double game weeks, that's when you really feel the need to get Haaland, isn't it? Because of captaincy. Now, Marmoush is perfectly good. Can you get them both? Maybe. But I look at 33 and there's every chance I'll have Isak, I'll have Mateta still, and I'll have one spot only available for a City forward, not two. So big decisions to make. I ain't making any decisions. Of course I'm not. And we got international break. Hold those transfers. I just want to draw our attention to Bournemouth, Brighton, and Newcastle. Newcastle, we know are doubling 32, as do Palace. But I'm also interested in Bournemouth and Brighton, because if they do get double game weeks, I also like their budget midfielders. So let's talk about the budget mids. If I'm selling Palmer and getting Haaland, I've got 6.2 to spend. Now, Kluivert is 6.2, and I expect price changes before I can make this move. But Kluivert would be my preferred option, I think. The penalties are there. The team's attacking. It's Ipswich up next for Kluivert. So when we see Kluivert's like numbers, 78, 90, 90, 72, 76, yes, he does get some early subs. Fine. But his numbers are very good. Bournemouth are a very good attack. And again, like Marmoush, he's playing in the Marmoush role. He's a second striker, right? Jacob Murphy, we know he doubles in 32. It's Brentford, then Leicester, then a double game week. I like Jacob Murphy very much. He's become absolutely first choice. Gordon on the left, Murphy on the right. Gordon suspended means Barnes is playing, but I don't expect Barnes to come in on the right-hand side. That is Murphy's slot. Assist for Isak in the EFL Cup final. He's playing well, Murphy. His numbers haven't been brilliant of late, but he went for a really good run, and I think he can get back to that. I like the Newcastle attack, and I know I want triple Newcastle for 32. The other midfielder I like is Minter. Yankuba Minter, right-hand side. He started the last 6. He's absolutely first choice. Bright and fun. He's cheaper than Matoma, the same as Rutter, but a better FPL asset. Rutter's great playing down the middle. Jorginho Rutter with João Pedro, but he ain't going to get any goals and assists. And then João Pedro is obviously a striker. Minter at 5 million is firmly also on my mind. So that's 3 midfielders I like. How does this work for my team? So let's go back to it, shall we? 2 scenarios here. They both involve, they absolutely both involve selling Cunha to a Man City forward. Man City have Leicester, right? I'm going to buy a Man City forward. So, option 1 is Marmoush in. Now, if Marmoush is in, I don't need to make another transfer, right? I wouldn't take a hit. 1 free transfer, Marmoush in, leaves me with 2.9 million in the bank still for game week 31 and no hit. So that's option 1. By the way, guys, thank you for all your comments. I will try and get back to as many as I can. Option number 2 is not Marmoush, as good as I think he is. And maybe I could still get him for the double in 33. I could go like Mateta or Isak to Marmoush if I needed to. I could go Haaland now. That requires a 4-point hit. So let's go Cunha in, right? Cunha out for Haaland. And now let's sell Palmer to Kluivert. Now this is a 4-point hit and 0.00 in the bank. I've got the exact funds for this move. I don't think I'll be able to make this. Although we have seen some price changes already on these players. I expect in 2 weeks' time, I can't reach Kluivert. And therefore I'll be looking at, say, a Minter or a Jacob Murphy, which I'm actually really fine with, right? I'm not wed to Kluivert at all. I'm not sure what direction I'll go in. Injuries could happen in the international break. We could hear Palmer's fine. If Palmer is fine, I'll probably go Marmoush. Let's see where I am in a couple of weeks' time. With captaincy, Salah has Everton, but I reckon whatever Man City forward comes in, I reckon I captain them versus Leicester, whether it's Marmoush or Haaland. Guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button on the way out, and stay tuned for another video in 24 hours' time with someone in the world's top 5.